So we're going to go ahead and go through some of them, give our picks, make any comments, all that sort of thing. So why don't we start with MVP, Delilah? Let's start with the MVP for this year. There are 5 nominees: Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills; Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens; Christian McCaffrey, 49ers; Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys; and of course, Mr. Irrelevant himself, Mr. Brock Purdy. Now, I made a pick. I've done these picks on another show, so I don't think I'm really going to switch anything. I'm just going to go with what I picked to begin with. And if I'm not mistaken, because this was a couple of weeks ago, I picked Lamar Jackson. I just thought he had a really great year. He really elevated his team. We know what happened in playoffs, but again, that doesn't count. It's his regular season. And he really did. He was the most valuable player. Hello, Ben. How are you? Good evening. He was the most, to me, the most valuable player for his team in that sense. Without Lamar Jackson on that team, I don't think they make it as far as they did. So that was my rationale for that. I picked Lamar Jackson. Delilah, how about you? Who was your favorite, or who do you pick for MVP this year?
I mean, I know that I wish they would do it for CMC, not because I don't think Lamar doesn't deserve it. That's not why. It's just I feel it always goes to a quarterback. That's all. But Lamar deserves it. Lamar's gonna win. But it would have been cool to see CMC get it just because it almost never swings that way. But Lamar does deserve it though. So Lamar.
All right, Tina.
Brock Purdy.
Okay.
I think he deserves it. He's shown this season that he was not what everybody thought he was and that he's learned from last season. I agree Lamar Jackson was very good and he was the main reason he was the one getting his team pushed forward. And you all know I love myself some McCaffrey. I just really think Brock Purdy is it's not the same guy that he was he's a year older, he has more time with his coach, he's had more time with the team. He's kind of coming into his own. And he had 2 playoff games in a row that they were down by some significant amount of points. And he brought them back and he won. So, yeah, my vote is for Purdy and
Okay.
then Christian.
And then okay, fair enough. Mr. Handy, how about you? MVP for the NFL this year.
I had a good friend of mine a few years back that kind of gave me a measuring stick that I have used ever since then for how you come up with the MVP. And I was in my head trying to think of a name while you were talking, so I kind of missed what you said. But what he gave me was, and that was the year that Peyton Manning was injured and out, and the Colts went what 2-14.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting around talking, and he said, I know it won't happen, but I think that makes Peyton Manning an excellent candidate for MVP. Because if he were playing, they would not be 2-14. Last season, they were in playoff contention. He gets hurt in week 3. He gets hurt like early in the season. They win 2 games all season. And so that's been kind of my litmus test since then. So having said that, that for me eliminates Josh Allen. Not that I don't think the Bills, not that I don't necessarily think the Bills still would be in the playoffs contention, but I don't think they would have that much of a drop off. That eliminates Christian McCaffrey for me, just because they still got Debo Samuel, they still got they still got some key parts and key players. Um, hmm. So then that leaves for me Lamar, Brock, and Dak. Dak is a tricky one for me because Dak is a tricky one for me because it depends on which Dak you get. But Dak had one of his best seasons of his career. Brock Purdy and Lamar Jackson. And I honestly think out of those 3, the team that would be most affected if they did not have that player would be the Baltimore Ravens. And by that logic, I'm going with Lamar Jackson.
All right, fair enough. So
Oh,
we
I
had a
think
vote.
he's going to win.
Right. Okay. Yeah. See that. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. No, I kind of went when doing that. Yeah, we'll get more into that as we go along. But yeah. All right. So I think we all feel like Lamar Jackson will probably win, but everybody's got a little different of what they'd like to see happen, which is always nice.